Okay, this is going to be the first of a series of probably about six videos looking at how to complete an actual application form for the Action Grants program. Um, so it's going to be fairly brief. This first video is just going to look at the first section that introduces uh, you to us as people that are going to assess your application. So the first entry that you need to make on the application form is to identify which of the four themes you're applying for. And for the purposes of all of these videos, we're going to be focusing on the physical activity and sport theme. If that doesn't make sense to you, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about themes, then go back and look at one of the presentations, on the PowerPoint presentations on this site that give an overview of the Action Grants program. And then that will become clear. Uh, you're required to put your name of the group in this section, and that should be the same as the name that appears on your bank account. And a really important little X here that you need to put in is to confirm that you are a formally constituted group. And that means that the group that's named here on the bank account is the formally constituted group, that you're applying as this formally constituted group. If you're not that group, if you're some sort of subsidiary of a larger group, you're using a bank account of a larger group, then you need to talk to us about that. So ring us and try to have a conversation with us so that we can understand why it is that you are not applying in the name of this group, but or perhaps you are applying in the name of this group, but this group isn't actually you. The rest of the question should be fairly straightforward here. Name of your project could be useful if you could just maybe even invent a name for your project just to help us know that the money that we're potentially giving you is not going to be just put into a general pot, but it has got a specific purpose that's in addition to your general funding needs. Uh, there's a question here about where does your group work, and would be particularly useful if you could tell us which district you work in, and you can go into sort of focus in terms of how focused the work is. If you're working on a borough level, a village level, or as small as an estate level, then please tell us that here. And obviously, also we need to know this to check your eligibility, that the area and the people that you're serving are residents of Derbyshire, or primarily residents of Derbyshire, and excluding Derby City. And the final question on page one is to tell us a little bit about your group as it exists at the moment. And I've got a series of bullet points here that are not compulsory for you to talk to. And you're not going to be marked against your answers for this, for telling us about who you are at the moment. But it really will help us as assessors understand who you are, what you do. And it will help us make a judgment about your ability to deliver on the project that you're proposing. So you could tell us what sort of group you are, and by that I mean, for example, a legal status. You could be a charity, you might be a CIC, you might be a parish council. Um, Tell us what you do. Don't assume that we know about you, and you could tell us how long you've been doing it. You could describe where you do your work, and it might be that I put a venue here, but if you work at a particular building, but it might be that the area in which you're proposing this new activity could be different from the area or parts of the county that you've worked in up to now, and that's fine. But it would help us understand what you're proposing if you can make that distinguishing between where you're working at the moment and where you're proposing to work. And perhaps you use this as an opportunity to tell us about what's unique to you, what it is that you're doing in Derbyshire that nobody else is able to do. So that's page one of the application form, and you'll have to go to the next video to look at how to address the first question.